He's worth over $130 billion, yet he still lives in the same small house he bought over 60 years ago. No private jet, no mansion, no luxury cars. So, why does one of the richest men on earth still live like he's broke?
Most billionaires buy penthouses, yachts, and islands. Warren Buffett? He still lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958, a 5-bedroom home worth just $31,500 back then. Every morning, he drives himself to McDonald's. He orders the same breakfast, a sausage patty and a Coke, and pays in exact change. No assistant, no chauffeur, just Warren, his old Cadillac, and a mind sharper than most supercomputers on Wall Street. People often laugh and call him cheap, but Buffett smiles. Because he knows something they don't. Simplicity is power. This isn't a story about being frugal. It is a story about how living below your means can make you worth over $130 billion. A paradox that made Warren Buffett not just rich, but legendary. How did a small-town boy become one of the richest men in the world without ever acting like one? The answer begins decades ago, in a dusty library in Omaha. As a child, Buffett was obsessed with numbers and patterns. While other kids played baseball, he memorized stock prices. He bought his first stock at age 11, 3 shares of Citi Service Preferred, and learned his first painful lesson: patience pays. At 19, he discovered the book that would shape his life, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. He didn't just read it, he devoured it. He studied under Graham at Columbia, learning one principle that would define his empire. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. But here's where Buffett went further than his mentor. While others used data to predict profits, Buffett used human nature to predict behavior. He realized markets are driven not by numbers, but by emotions. This insight became his superpower. When the crowd panicked, Buffett stayed calm. When everyone chased hype, he waited for value. By his early 30s, Buffett had turned $100,000 into millions, not by gambling, but by thinking slower than everyone else. But even with millions in hand, why didn't he spend like other millionaires? What kept him grounded? The answer lies in how Buffett defines wealth. He once said, "If you buy things you don't need, soon you'll have to sell things you do need." To him, real wealth wasn't about owning more. It was about needing less. That mindset became his armor against the temptations that destroy most millionaires. Buffett never cared about expensive suits or luxury vacations. He cared about time, the only currency that never inflates. He believed every dollar wasted was a piece of time thrown away. And the more time he saved, the more freedom he earned. That freedom allowed him to read 500 pages a day, think deeply, and make billion-dollar decisions with calm precision. It's why he still lives in Omaha, not Los Angeles. It's why he still drives his old Cadillac. Because his environment keeps his mind clear, and a clear mind prints money. While other billionaires show off their wealth, Buffett quietly compounds his. He once said, "Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." So he built the right habits early and never broke them. But behind this discipline, there's a darker side, a ruthless decision that shocked even his mentors. Buffett's calm face hides a sharp edge. He might seem humble, but in business, he's ice cold. When a deal doesn't meet his standard, he walks away without hesitation. He once said no to hundreds of offers that others would have killed for. Why? Because he values rationality over excitement. In the 1960s, he bought a dying textile company called Berkshire Hathaway. Most thought it was a terrible move. Buffett agreed eventually, but instead of quitting, he transformed it into a holding company, a quiet monster that now controls Apple, Coca-Cola, American Express, Geico, and dozens more. This was his genius. He didn't chase trends, he built systems. While others jumped from one opportunity to another, Buffett built a structure that made him rich in his sleep. He once told his team, "I don't look for 7-foot fences to jump over. I look for 1-foot fences I can step over." And that is how he created the most stable fortune on earth, by doing the simple things consistently, without emotion, without ego. But what's the ultimate lesson behind all this? Why does a man who can buy anything choose not to? When people ask Buffett why he still lives like he's broke, he laughs. Because to him, the answer is obvious. Money is only valuable when it buys freedom, not things. He says, success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Buffett could own 10 mansions, but he doesn't need them. He could retire decades ago, but he loves the game too much to quit. He doesn't collect cars and he collects compound interest. His life is the ultimate contradiction. The man who never flaunted wealth became its ultimate symbol. The man who never chased fame became a legend. And maybe that's the real secret. In a world obsessed with showing off, Warren Buffett quietly mastered the art of enough. He didn't live rich. He thought rich. And that made all the difference. If you believe real wealth starts in the mind, not the wallet, then hit subscribe and join Mind Up 10. Because here we don't just study success, we decode it. Now tell me, would you live like Warren Buffett if it meant becoming a billionaire? Or do you think luxury and freedom can coexist? Drop your thoughts below. I read every comment.